Assalamu alaikum, dear participants. I'm Dr. Abdul Wahid Bhatt, Assistant Professor at Department of History, Amar Singh College, Srinagar. Moderator of today's session is on behalf of Amar Singh College, Kalstar University, Srinagar, and Cab Kumar Trust India. I welcome you all for this week-long international virtual faculty development program whose theme is tools and techniques. Broader theme of this program is tools and techniques in research. It started on 7th March 2022. Today is the 5th session of this faculty development program. This is the 11th session today on Friday. So far, the themes discussed in various sessions include this faculty development program, include a review of literature, art of publication in UGC and scopes, report writing, language correction tool, statement of problem, tools of data collection, and research design. So far, greater themes of the world of research has been covered in this program. Hope scholars, students would learn a lot because scholars have discussed on different aspects of their research, right? Whether it is report writing, whether it is synopsis designing. So today we have with us a different resource person from Indonesia. It's Dr. Rita Indrawati. Dr. Rita Indrawati MPed is an English lecturer of FKIP Sriwijaya University, Palembang, Indonesia. She is interested in the teaching of literature, academic writing, textbook development, and multimodal composition for her research. Her master's thesis and dissertation focused on the teaching of literature and literature for character building. She did her investigations since 2006 up to now and presented them both in Indonesia and abroad, such as Thailand, Cambodia, Singapore, Malaysia, India, Japan, Korea, Germany, Italy, United States, and Australia. She became speaker of research writing for lectures of Sriwijaya University and other universities in South Sumatra, the keynote speakers in Manado, Palembang, Bali for national and international seminars. Besides, she was invited as the speaker for an academic writing workshop by Jakarta, UIN Korup, and STKIP Gatsempina Banda Aceh. However, she was also invited to be the keynote speaker in 7 universities virtually during the COVID-19 outbreak. She became the research reviewer of Indonesian Higher Education Directorate and Sriwijaya University in 2009-2014. Some academic journals in Indonesia employ her as reviewers. She has published some books in the area of academic writing, literature, and material development. Her achievements are the Best Lecturer of Sriwijaya University 2010, the Best Education Research 2011, the Best Lecturer of Sriwijaya University 2013, and the Best Researcher of Competency Research of Indonesian Higher Education 2013. Her positions were as the Vice Director of Pasca Sarjana PGRI University in 2007-2009, the Head of JPBSF KIP in 2010-2015, and the Head of Magister Program of Language Education in 2015-2019, FKIP Sriwijaya University. In 2016, President Joko Widodo bestowed her Tonda Kohormata Satya Lanka Karya Satya Tohan. Perhaps my pronunciation is accurate because these words are different. So she is going to speak today on tools and techniques of development research in education during pandemic era. But before I request her to formally start her lecture, I would like to say a few words. The duration for every session is 1 hour, including the question answer part. All participants are requested to keep their devices on mute mode so that the session goes smoothly and participants are not disturbed. So with these words, I request Dr. Rita Indravati, please start her lecture.
Thank you, dear moderator, Dr. Wahid. Okay, let me prepare my PPT first. How about my voice? Is it audible?
You're audible, you're audible.
Yes, ma'am,
Okay.
yes.
Welcome. So now I would like to Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, thank you. So, well, I would like to say Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening. Well, first of all, let's praise and thank to our God. Because of Him, we can be here in this international conference in India through Google Meet in good health. Well, I would like to say thank you to the moderator first, and then to the Amar Singh College and Cape Comorin Trust, who have invited me to be one of the keynote speakers here. I also would like to say thank you to all the great participants. It is a pleasure to know you, to meet you. So in this good occasion, I would like to share my knowledge with you. Hopefully, I would like, sorry, hopefully what I will deliver to all of you can be useful. Well, the titles of my presentations is Tools and Technique in Development Research in Education During Pandemic Era. Okay, before presenting the material, I'd like to know whether you are all acquainted with development research. Actually, I would like you to type yes or no in the column, but we cannot use that one. So yeah, at least I just listen from you whether you know exactly the development research, dear participants. Do you know that kinds of research? Hello, anyone? You are with me? Are you with me?
Yeah, we are with you. We are with you.
Okay. Yeah, so, yeah. Do you know these kinds of research, development research? Okay, if you don't answer my question, meaning that, yeah, you want to know from now on from me. Okay, so I don't want to ask you whether you have ever an experience of doing the research on that. Okay, so, yeah. So I hope that the material that I'm going to share with you will be a new knowledge for some of you, and to those who ever known or ever conducted the research. Hopefully my presentation will enrich your insight or perspective. So let me tell you what I'm going to present. The first one is the introduction. What is development research? And the second one, development research, how to do it. And the third highlights some examples. So the development research done at junior high school, senior high school, vocational schools, university levels also. And the last is the conclusion. So you know that researchers have used a number of terms in the fields of education to describe what is meant by development research. It includes design studies, design experiment, design research, development research, formative inquiry, formative experiment, formative evaluation, action research, and engineering research. So in this regard, it is quite logical that Acker in 1999 suggests these two things. These researches have general characteristics, namely they interpret education primarily as a design science, emphasizing its problems-oriented and interdisciplinary orientation. And the second one, although design and development research would perhaps serve a more adequate term to represent all intended research types, we have chosen the terms development research as an umbrella term. So because it is too shorter and also because the words design and development are often used interchangeably. So Acker in 1999 also explained that development research does not specify and carry out complete intervention. It is a process of design as required. So additionally, the development research about probability of creating a handy and useful intervention as the solution to a problem faced or expected change. The intervention, such as the product, the syllabus, teaching material, or others, and the procedures include 3 phases: analysis, design, evaluation, and revision activities. Well, the definitions of the term development research is difficult to distinguish from research and development, or R&D, because these two terms refer to the same thing. So that the result of conducting research from these two terms can contribute to science. There is theoretical contribution, which are equally important, by being able to also contribute to product improvement in terms of practical contribution. For example, according to the Center for Policy Research and Innovation in Indonesia, we call that Puslit Jaknov team, in 2008, said that the notion of development research in the fields of education is a research method that contains these 3 things. The first one is the development model, the development procedure, and the third one is model or product development trial. So, development research, what are these? These are 4 things that we can connect to development research. The first one, when we know development research, so in our mind come up a meaning. The first one is research method in education field. The second one, when we know about research, development research, so in our mind came research design for prototype. The third one, solution for improving learning process. The fourth, research conducting on the products, syllabus, teaching material, and learning model. And you can see here the procedure. There are 3 phases. The first one is analysis, design. The third one is evaluation and revision. So it is how we can conduct development research, I mean. So it has something to do with the tools and the techniques. So you know that we have problems in doing research during pandemic era. It's not easy to get the data from the field because the headmaster, the government didn't give us any permission to do that, because you know that insight research is difficult to realize. Yes. So should we keep silent, do nothing for the research? So it is, insight research is difficult to realize. And direct observation is also forbidden. No leader can give us permission to go there to do the direct observation. And then difficult to interview. Yes, it is difficult to interview because it is pandemic era. And the last lack of society participation. Yes, people will keep silent because of the pandemic era. However, you know that government in every country alters the rules of conducting research. So no more offline, no more offline. So we go to online asynchronously and synchronously. So we need these kinds of application and platform. I know that India also have these kinds of platforms and application. You know that in 2009, the first time I came back to my campus, so I used at the time Facebook for the student to learn. So no one at the time liked I use Facebook because they think that Facebook is only for entertainment. But I could find at the time that Facebook can be used as the place for the student to learn every subject, every course. For example, at the time I teach article writing. So the student in one group, and then they send their article there, and also do the peer assessment and self-assessment. And I tell them at the time what to do. And the other one, we use also Google Meet, like what we have done today. We use the platform of Google Meet. We also have Zoom and WhatsApp and also WebEx. So this one, the way we got the data online. So here, one of the teacher, she was under my advisory in a master program, master degree program. Yeah, she was a teacher. So it is the way she got the data from the students, yeah, online by using WhatsApp. And you can see that she interviewed the student, and the other picture below, you can see the student answer the question from the questionnaire, because development research has something to do with the questionnaire in order to see the student's perception toward the books, toward the product that have been produced by the research. And the other one, we also use Zoom in order to get the data. And the other one, we use Google Meet also and Google Plus. So now, the next is how to do the development research. Start from the procedure, the tools, and the techniques. So here, the procedure, you can see that the analysis, the design, and the evaluation and revision. So it is the procedure, how to do development research. But do not forget the tools and the techniques of these kinds of research. You can see here, the first one, the tools, it has validity, practicality, and potential effect. And for the techniques, it uses questionnaire, semi-structured interview, and test. So here, later, in order to know the student's reading level, we can use FlashKingCat formulation. It is online in Google. So here is the link you can find here. You can see here. And the next, it is the procedure. Okay, so talking about the procedure of development research, the first one, analysis phase. So there are three analyses applied in development research. The first one is instructional analysis. So in this instructional analysis, the researcher analyzes two documents, I mean, the curriculum used, which are related to English, because yeah, I'm English teacher, English lecturer. So the curriculum should be analyzed, must be related to the English and the content subject of a school or study program. And beside the curriculum, the reading material in the used textbook also must be analyzed. For the curriculum objective, the core competencies and basic competencies of learning English and content subject must be analyzed. And the second analysis phase, there is students' needs analysis. So in order to do development research, we cannot do as we like. We cannot. So we have to know whether the student needs or not. If the student didn't need at all, so it is harmful to do the development research. So we have to know whether the student need it or not. Okay, the way to know whether the student need the development research or not, you can see here that the needs analysis conducted in order to gather information such as their needs toward the development product. So what for? Researcher produce a product, for example, the product book or learning media, so it is product. So what for? We as the researcher do development research if there is no need, if the student think that it is not good, or the student feel that we still need this one, not the new one, for example. So we have to analyze the student's needs. And the third in analysis phase, student reading level. So as I mentioned before, that in order to know the level of the student in terms of reading, we have to use the flash Kincaid. It is online, so you can go there, go to the link to check where is the level of the student, because in order to do the development research, we have to check the student's reading level. If we know the student reading level, so the product we are going to develop, a handphone, sorry. Wait. Hello, sorry. Halo, Assalamualaikum. Sorry, Pak. Ini lagi presentasi di India nih. Sorry. Lagi presentasi di India. Sorry nanti ya. Thank you, Daddy. Okay, I'm so sorry that my husband now is in Bandung. So, yeah. He actually know I would like to present my paper in India through webinar. Yeah, so sorry. So I have to answer the phone from him, right? Okay, so here, the student's reading level analysis. So it is the way we know the student reading level by distributing reading test. Okay, we give the reading test to the student and then we know their level. So we use Jennings reading level. So we know the level of the student. So if we know the level of the student, so in order to develop the product, we know the material, the product must be similar to the student's reading level. Okay, the second of the procedure is design phase. So here I have written here in order that you can identify easily. So the first one, in designing the product, the developed product was presented in printed or paper-based design. So we have to print it, okay? But again, I would like to remind you that we did the development research in the pandemic era. So there is no printed anymore. So we just give the soft copy in PDF and then the student read, because they also read by using their phone, by using their handphone, and also their MacBook or their laptop. So you know that it is as the supplementary instructional reading material in teaching and learning process. In designing process of the developed product consisted of some steps. So you can see here the main step. So the first step, so it is the second phase of development research. There is designing. So after analyzing, we go to designing. So what we are going to designing as the development researcher, first, we have to determining the indicators on and objectives of learning based on the core and basic competencies. I don't think that we have the same the same determination. Perhaps in India you have another terminology, not core and basic competencies. The second one, in designing the process, collecting informations about, for example, it is the research about Bangka local culture. So we have to collect the data. For example, you're going to do research about India's culture, so you have to collect the data about India culture from books written in Bangka cultural here by practitioners or humanists. So you can also do the same thing by reading the books written by the expert in India. The third phase of designing, summarizing and determining the information that would be written in the forms of descriptive text. Yes, because I'm English teacher, so the teacher who became our students at master degree should develop kinds of texts. For example, here, one of my students developed descriptive text because the descriptive text at her school, it is a vocational school, so the text that they use is just similar to the text for general English, for senior high school. So you know that vocational school is different from general English at senior high school, because vocational school students have to read descriptive text, for example, but have something to do with their program, based on their study program. For example, vocational school students, when they read descriptive text, they will read about historical building in Palembang, for example, or historical building in India. So the teacher developed descriptive text. Okay, so the next, writing English descriptive reading material based on the information summarized. So the data about the culture, okay, the culture that become the material. So the descriptive reading material were developed from the culture, from Bangka local culture. So from you, for example, you can use India local culture. I know that in India, there is a city, old India and New India. I forget. Yeah, long time ago I went there. Okay, the fifth, check the reading level of the developed reading material. So once we develop the reading material, for example, go to the link, the Flashking-Cape, to check whether the text we are developing have good reading levels. For example, the students in our school or the students in our university have reading level, for example, in level 7. Therefore, the researcher or the teacher, the lecturer, have to develop similar levels. But the material must be about culture because they focus on culture. 6, making the list of the words was used for glossary and Bangka terminology. It is just the example. So once we have developed the materials about descriptive text, we have to make the glossary and the terminology, because yeah, you know that local culture will have their own language. So we have to introduce the culture of Bangka, of India, by writing the words or the names of Bangka or of India as the glossary or terminology. And 7, constructing the question for the reading comprehension. Yes, after the researcher developed the reading material, so the next must be the reading comprehension test in order to check the student comprehension. For example, how to get the main idea, to get the reference, vocabulary, and so on and so forth. 8, completing the developed product involve real pictures and Bangka Pantun. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, we can add other things from our culture, for example. And the name, adding certain explanation. So because it is close, yeah. And the last, designing the material presentation and cover of the developed product. So the last must be the cover of the book of the learning material developed. Okay, the third phase of development research is evaluation and revision phase. So in this phase, the writer, the researcher use the formative evaluation proposed by Tesmer. So you can find here 5 stages in doing the formative evaluation. So self-evaluation, the next expert review, one-to-one evaluation, small group evaluation, and field test. So if we see the formative evaluation, it seems to us that development research is difficult. But in fact, no, it is easy. My students can finish their research not more than 6 months, you know? So they can finish their study as soon as possible. And yeah, sorry, as soon as possible, they can finish, because from the formative evaluation, from self-evaluation, it can be done gradually, okay, step by step. But if you can see that here, the stages, there are 5 stages only for phase 3. So you can think that development research is difficult. No, actually, yeah, because we have done around 5 years, so we know exactly. So you know that after we know about the development research, so there are so many teachers in Palembang, in my city, wanted to learn how to develop the material. So we make the training for the teacher, and then the book have been published now. So here is, you can see from the self-evaluation. So it should be revised or not, it depends on the review from the expert. If the expert said there is nothing to revise, so just continue to one-to-one evaluation. But if the expert review the product and he or she suggested to revise, so the product must go back to the researcher. So the researcher should do what we call with the self-evaluation. After revising, so it can be go to one-to-one. So one-to-one evaluation here is the student at that school. And later it will be revised. After revising, the product will be analyzed in small group evaluation. For example, in one-to-one evaluation, there are only 3 students, but in small group evaluation, there must be 9 students. So from 3 multiply 3, so there must be 9 students in small group evaluation. So we got 1 student from low in understanding or low in their English, and then the second one moderate, and the third one is above. Sorry, lower, yeah? Above, moderate, and lower. So these 3 kinds of students must evaluate the product. After that, they say something about the book. I like the book, for example. I hate this one. So many things. The student have to write something here in the one-to-one evaluation. After that, it must go back to the researcher to do the self-evaluation anymore. After that, the product is given to the small group evaluation. So you have to remember that in development research must be done in one class, only in one class. So after we take 1 student from 3 categories, high, moderate, and low, and then we go to small group from this similar class, okay? So 3 times 3, there must be 9 students in small group evaluation. And after it is revised, so the product can be tested to the field. We said that field test. So the students who do the test in the field test must be the rest of the students. For example, in one class, the students, around 35 students. So after they were taken in one-to-one evaluation and small group evaluation, meaning that 9 plus 3, 12, and the rest, 35 minus 12. So yeah, so it is. The student have to do the test in the field test. Okay, the next. Here is the tools of development research. Sorry. Yeah, so this one. Previously, I have mentioned one-to-one in order to find the validity. And then go to small group discussion in order to get the practicality of the product. And the field test, it is the researcher want to see whether the product have potential effect to the students. And in the field test, the students cannot be directly asked to answer the question from the reading that we or the researcher developed. The teacher or the researcher have to teach 1 up to 7 descriptive text, for example, after the student know exactly about the material. So the rest that the product that have been produced by the development research must be the test. Okay, so the descriptive text that have been given to the students in 1 or 2 meetings cannot be given to the students as the test. So you can see here, the validity here, the extent of the intervention design is based on language knowledge, and all components are consistently related and connected. And for the practicality, the extent of the intervention is in normal condition. Okay, it is done by 9 students in the class. And for the potential, you can see here the experience and the outcomes with the intervention are consistent with the intended aims. Okay, this one, the specification of students' needs analysis for teachers' questionnaire. So it is one of the techniques, okay, for the student in development research. So you can see types of needs, the target situation, and the strategy analysis. And they can also, the other 2, deficiency analysis and present situation analysis. So the key theme you can find here, the students' expectation toward the student view on current wants, the lack faced by students in reading, the students' English proficiency, the students' view on the existing, the students' knowledge about, and the students, I think that some, it is closed by this line. So in order to know the needs of the student, and it is the questionnaire for the teacher. So the question for every type, you can see here, for example, 4 questions or 6 questions and so on, up to there are 25 items for the questionnaire. The second one is semi-structured interview to teachers. So the teachers, not only the teachers, but also the headmaster or if it is in university, the dean, the lecturers must be interviewed, semi-structured interview. So many things can be got, many information can be got from the teachers about the product produced through the development research. And this one, the specification of questionnaire for validation. So as I mentioned before that the phases, one of the phases is validation. So in order to validate the product, so here is the questionnaire. For example, the appropriateness of the content, the accuracy of the developed product, the importance of the developed product, and the currency of the developed product. So this questionnaire must be validated by expert. So we said that expert review. So it is the aspects that the validator will give the score. And then specification of questionnaire for validation sheet of the language. So the validator, not only one expert, but there are around 3 experts. That the expert about the content of the product, about the language, you can see here, language aspect in the developed product, probing ethnic and bias in the developed product, language aspect in reading, language aspects in glossary and terminology. So it is, yeah, the language also validated by the expert. They review this one. Another one, it is validation for instructional design. So I have mentioned that there must be 3 experts: expert of content, expert of language, and expert of instructional design. There must be 3 different people. And this one, specification of questionnaire for students' responses. So the student have to respond to the product by answering this: reference to the student's need, material presentation, evaluation, attractiveness of the material. So the student just give a tick to the to the question given in the questionnaire. And here it is. I would like to show you as a whole how to do the development research. Yeah. So we have discussed about the analysis, the design, and evaluation and revision. So it is as a whole. Yeah. So I will give you in order to do the same thing later on. Okay, the next, we still have highlight some examples. So these examples that I would like to show you is about the development research at junior high school, senior high school, vocational school, and university. Development research at junior high school. So here, the student at Islamic board school read and learn general English. It is the fact. Yeah, I think that in India also. So students at Islamic board school, for example, they learn English, but what they learn, the general one, the general about English. So it is the fact in the world, I think, not only in my country, but in the world, it is the fact, okay? But because they are at Islamic board school, they have to learn everything about their religion. So they learn their religion through learning English. So the material in Islam, Muslim, they develop into English, and it will be learned by the students at the Islamic board school. The second one, the students have to read and learn English with Islamic content. It is the need. Okay, so they learn English, but there is no something to do with their school, with the label of the school, Islamic board school. So they need, the teacher asks the student whether they need the material, English materials about Islamic content, and the students say yes. So they learn how to take wudu, how to pray, how to everything's about Islamic board school. And the third, teacher researcher was initiated to develop the textbook. Because of the needs of the student, the teacher researcher initiated to develop the textbook. And then the teacher researcher learned how to develop and ask some expert to validate her product. Once the teacher developed the material, it doesn't mean that the textbook is ready to publish and people or other students will use the textbook, for example. It is not correct. So after it is developed by the teacher researcher, so some experts have to validate the three validator that I have mentioned before. Validator of content, language, and instructional material. And 5, the product was a supplementary English Islamic content-based reading material. So the material that the teacher produced at that Islamic board school have something to do with their religion. And this one, producing learning products. So the first book produced by a student under our advisory, so it is master degree program students. She produced at the time a book entitled Siti Zubaida Millennial Drama Performance in English Language Teaching. So this book later on can be used by me as the teacher of literature in ELT as the supplementary material for the student how to perform. However, this book, even though it is for millennial drama performance, this book, the contents of this book, only the drama performance on the stage. Drama performance on the stage. Later on, you can see how we develop from drama performance on the stage, go to drama performance virtually or virtual drama performance. Okay, so it is the textbook. And the second one, the second book, it is descriptive reading material, Palembang Tourism, sorry, it is too small, Palembang Tourism Destination. So it is the book developed because my student, Kananda, okay, taught at vocational school, and she could see that the student need descriptive texts that have something to do with their study program. It is the tourism study program. So she developed descriptive reading material about Palembang tourist destination. So about the historical building, for example. And this is the book, Learning More Islamic Descriptive Text, the product that I have explained before. I have elaborated about that. So this one, the book, and these books have been published in Indonesian publisher, okay? So the books have the ISBN, of course. So beside these 3 books, you can see here the other books and the narrative text, for example, and the poems, and so on and so forth. And the other product of development research is articles in journals. You can see here. Okay, so after the student have the book, and then they also have to, not to present, to publish their articles to a journal. And the other one, it is what we call with intellectual property right. So this one, intellectual property right, we got after we propose. So we got this one, intellectual property right. Okay, so here are the examples of master degree program students who want to do research on development, not on qualitative. So in our university, in master degree program, the student have to do research on qualitative, yes, pure qualitative, yes, and the second one, there must be development research. So it is the examples of the material. So you can see, for example, number one, developing instructional descriptive reading material of Bangka local culture for tour and travel study program students of Vocational School 3 Pangkal Pinang. And it is the current textbooks. Okay, you can see the year 2020. The second one, developing Islamic instructional material. The third, developing Palembang tourism destination. And the fourth, developing Sekayu, one of the city in South Sumatra, Sekayu local culture, and it is about descriptive text because the students at junior high school, senior high school, vocational school learn descriptive text. So the teachers in these three levels of education have to know how to develop their learning material. And this one in the university level, and it is the current issue. You know that the fact it is about development research because we highlight some examples of development research. The fact, the first one is no more performance on the stage during pandemic era because my presentation today about the development study in education during pandemic era. So we can find here the fact no more performance on the stage during pandemic era. So before pandemic era, the student have to perform on the stage something like this. Can you see this? It is the video of Putri Kembang Gadang. It is Palembang local culture. You can see here. Okay. So the other performance on the stage we have produced before pandemic era. After pandemic era, we don't know what to do. Okay, our rector didn't give us any permission to perform on the stage. So it is one of the facts, no more performance. The second one, some students are responsible as script writer, director, producer, lighting man, setting team, instrumental music, crew. So it is the fact when the performance is on the stage. Some students have to be the script writer, the director, the producer, lighting man, setting team, instrumental music crew. And because of the fact, so we have the needs. So the needs, the first one is online drama or virtual drama performance. We think it over at a time. Yeah. So how about in our material, our course? It is literature in ELT. So there is no more performance on the stage. So it means that there is a need. So the need is how to develop a drama performance online, or we said that virtual drama performance. The second need, every student is responsible to the whole roles. So you can see the differences between the fact and the needs. The fact, 5 students become script, the other one become the director, and so on and so forth. But the need here, because they did it, the student will do the virtual drama performance from home by using Zoom, by using Google Meet like this. So every student is responsible to the whole roles. So the student have to know how to write the script. The student know how to direct himself or herself. The student know how to make the lighting at her home, for example, in order to have good lighting for the virtual drama. And the student also have to know the setting. There is no team anymore. The setting, the virtual setting. There are so many settings that we can find virtually in Canva application or in Pinterest. And for the music, the music, instrument music, there is no cue anymore. The student have to choose the instrument music. Then I always remind them to find the free copyright instrument music, free copyright setting. So they have to find out the copyright, the free copyright or no copyright. So we are safe from the claim from other people that possess the instrumental music. The next here is technological devices for the virtual performance. So it is one of the development study that I have done. I use technological devices for virtual drama. So we move from the stage to the virtual. So from Canva, Pinterest, and we use Zoom. So it is, we use these technological devices. And finding from the preliminary study, because in order to do the research, we have to know what is the weaknesses or what they need, what the student need. So the first one is reading the old English epic poem Beowulf collaboratively. So they learn, and I divided Beowulf, okay, Beowulf, the epic poem in English literature. I divided to the 34 students into 34 parts. You know that it is too long, epic poem. Every student learn and comprehend only their own part. So read collaboratively. So you know that this one is the original text of Beowulf, the manuscript. I cannot understand this. Okay. The second one, the development study that I did last year, creating 2 minutes video. So let the student create their own video by using the technological tools in Google, for example. And as the lecturer, I also guide them to make the 2-minute video creativity. So student one, for example, making written narration, music setting for one minute, and the situation is dark, the setting is dark, and so on and so forth. It is the lecturer have to guide the student. And it is the captures of creating 2 minutes video. So the 2 minutes video, I ask the student to find the free copyright videos, yeah, in order no complaint from others. So the student 23, for example, she wrote written narration. You can see the narration here, and then Grendel, the character, and Grendel's house. So it is only the capture, yeah, but it is the video actually. So how come, you know, in order to do the virtual drama, if there is no setting, appropriate setting, how come the student perform Beowulf, for example, without any setting like you can see here in the screen, yeah, with the castle and so on and so forth. The next is writing drama script collaboratively. No more drama script writer anymore, but every student have to write the drama, but part by part. I have divided the student into some to be written by the students. And here, producing virtual drama performance. It is still in the term of development research. They produce virtual drama. You can see that, the setting.
Excuse me, madam.
Yeah.
Excuse me, please. Madam.
Hello.
Your topic is, madam, your topic is tools and techniques of research in development education. What you are presenting is totally different. There is nothing about tools and techniques of development research.
Sir, we sorry for interruption. We have a question session also. You can raise these questions at that time. We are
because madam is presenting the topic, and later on we will not get anything.
Okay, so, sir, you can ask. You can ask.
Okay, okay. So let's continue.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
thank you, sir. Yeah, actually, yeah, it is about tools and techniques, right? But it is in development studies. So what I show you, yes, it is virtual drama performance. It is one of the product of development study, you know. So it is, I said that the third point of my presentation is the highlight of examples of development study. So it is the development study. You can see it developed one by one from no no not product, but no stage to go to virtual drama. So it is the steps. Okay, this one, the students' creativity. You know that sometimes it is difficult for them to get the costume, for example, and then they just take from the local culture ornamental like this. So it is creativity. If not, it is difficult for them because they live far from my city because it is online class, okay, because of the pandemic. So they are in their home in different city with me. So how come I send the ornament of the hat to their home? It is too far. Okay, so they just create by using the ornament from the local culture of Palembang. So you see, they use also the mask like this. Okay, this one, the conclusion. So development research in education field could produce learning product such as learning application, learning media, learning book, which are suitable with the students' need. Okay, I think that's all for my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Walaikum assalam, Professor Indra Vati, for this beautiful presentation. It was so beautiful that I was absorbed in this lecture for 1 hour. I don't know how this 1 hour passed. So now the session is open for questions and queries. But before others would raise hands or ask any question, I have one question, madam, for you. You mentioned in your lecture Islamic board schools. Is my voice audible to you, ma'am?
Yeah.
Okay. So what are these Islamic board schools? Are these like madrasas we have in different countries of South Asia, like India, Pakistan? May you please throw some light on it?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it is something like madrasa. You know, in Indonesia, there are so many Islamic board schools. So they learn English actually. The students learn English, but the English that the students learn only the general one. For example, the descriptive text. So it is only about the president, for example, the king. It is descriptive study, or the historical building. Therefore, the teacher try to develop because it is based on the students' need. The students learn at Islamic boarding schools, but they didn't learn English that have something to do with their own religion. Therefore, the teacher created the book, and I am the lecturer. So I help her. I facilitated her to be the book for Islamic students. It is Dr. Wahid.
Thanks, ma'am. Now I request other participants, please, they can ask the question. And please be brief. We are running short of time. So this session was actually from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's already 7:03. So other participants are requested, please ask the questions if they have. Hello. Perhaps Sophie sir would like to ask a question because he had raised a query during the session. I would ask him to please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
My
Please, sir.
question is, today's topic was tools and techniques of research in development education. Tools and techniques of research in education. So these tools and techniques of research and development education should have been explained one by one. But the madam talk in detail about, I don't know, drama, fiction, how these things are related with the development education.
Dr.
G.
Sharma. Dr. Sharma, yes?
G.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know that the drama that I explained before is the part of development study. So the development study here have the tools and techniques. The tools that I use here is the validation, practicality, and the other one, I have three, okay, practicality and field test. While the techniques, we use some questionnaires and semi-structured interview. Okay, so the drama that you show is, again, I would like to tell you that it is one of the example of development study, development research. We develop from the stage, and there is no more stage in the pandemic era, so we go to virtual. We develop into virtual drama performance. No more stage. That's it, Dr. Sharma.
For example, I am doing research in education on a specific topic, and the main objective is to find the ways the student think about their future career. What will the scope of this drama, fiction? Nothing. I have to write a thesis. For example, I have to write a thesis. But about this drama and fiction in thesis, I don't. I could not understand these things.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, because it is only the examples of the development study.
Okay. No problem.
It's only the examples of development study, right?
Okay, sir. I basically, madam belongs to literature, right?
Okay,
so
okay.
She's not from the discipline of education, right? So
yes.
something
She is talking in the
From
context of his conceptual context, what she has conceived. Or it is a research in development, research in education is a quite different thing from
Okay, sir.
literature research.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Okay. Bye to waste time.
Thank you, sir, for your active participation.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
A lot from your queries. So
Thank
I
you.
think, is there anybody?
Thank you.
Please mute the mic. We are getting. Okay.
Wahid sir, can I ask a small query to ma'am?
Sure.
Shabnam.
Sure. You can ask. Our pleasure.
Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon to all of you. Ma'am Rita Indravati, I'm Shabnam this side from Amar Singh College, Department of Sociology. My compliments to your presentation, which was very comprehensive and lucid to understand. Ma'am, as you said that there is this paradigm shift from offline research to online research because of this COVID pandemic. Ma'am, while using these tools, like for example, a questionnaire, when a researcher uses online tools and techniques to collect data, could we see it like authentic, or how much foolproof it would be? as a student of social sciences, we always try and see the behavior of a respondent while conducting research. Sometimes the respondent would not be giving a real answer to a query or a question that particular point in that particular aspect. For example, when I was collecting data about the female feticide in Jammu region, some women were reluctant to tell the truth or right answer to the questionnaire.
Yeah.
So at that point in time, what I try to see the behavior, the surroundings, the relationship of that particular woman with her husband, with her in-laws, whosoever has forced her to go for the abortion. So, ma'am, your comment, your expertise on that. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. Yeah, so it is research on social, research in social field. Yeah,
Sociology.
sociology, yes. So I know that it is difficult, because it has something to do with human. So sometimes, yes, I agree with you that it is difficult for us as the researcher to find the real information, the correct information from that one. However, this one, my study is about development research. So because they really need that one, so they will give the information as correct as possible through online questionnaire, for example. So as the example that I have shown you before, you can see that the students on the WhatsApp, only 5 students can be seen, can be in the same screen. And then the teacher over there can see the students fill in the blank by clicking or by giving a tick. So it is different thing. And I agree with you, mom doctor, that sociology is very difficult. Yes, because it has something to do with the humanity. So yeah, sometimes they keep silent. They don't want to give the information. And again, I would like to tell you that it is different with development study in education, because they need, so they eager to give all the things that the researcher want to know. So it is the problem. So thank you for the great question from you, I mean.
Yes, ma'am, can't agree more. We have to restrict our sample size. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Shabnamji, for asking this question. I think there are no participants now, right, who have to clear some questions or queries. So we have to start another session. It's already too
Sir,
late.
please, if you can give me a little room.
Sure, Azharul Haq sir.
Assalamu alaikum, our honorable guest speaker for today's session.
Yeah,
I would like to congratulate you for this presentation,
thank
the
you,
tools
sir.
and techniques of development education. Ma'am, you have done a wonder, I think, by briefing how we can use drama as a tool to develop education. Drama or fiction is not only a tool used to get pleasure, as we commonly think, uh, but it educates people about the every aspect of life. There is hardly anything left which doesn't come under the roof of the drama. Drama is amongst the best tools to be used to develop education, uh, as it is being practiced since ancient times, because drama involves us emotionally. And I think it would be better to introduce dramas in our literature subject languages like English, Urdu, Punjabi, Hindi, whatever we teach in our colleges. Ma'am, I once again thank you. You have drawn our attention towards an important and I think the need of the hour, because it is a very effective tool if it would be used. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, you're welcome, Dr. Izar. Yes, I agree with you that literature can help the student develop their characters. we as the teacher, as lecturer, try to characterize the students through performing drama virtually. So, you know, that some characters can be developed also when they play that one. So thank you for your thank you for your what?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It is only the literature which deals with every aspect of life,
Yeah.
and that too very emotionally and very effectively.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, Adar Miksa, for your comments.